Okay, so this design will be made out of layers, and we're going to use 3 layers. Okay, so first layer, this is our first layer of design. Okay, I didn't cover it. I just have my second layer of my sun-kissed gel polish, and I have my foil stick on, and that's it. I didn't cover it or anything. So I need to take into account that these nails will be on my clients. Okay, so I cannot have too much of the layering of the product because of the thickness wouldn't be as good. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up, maybe I will just use the burgundy as the main thing, and I will just mix it with the brown together just to make it a little bit more dirty. Okay, I don't want to have it too bright. And next to me is white, and I'm just going to clean my brush all the time. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to first create the centerpiece, just like that, here in the middle. Okay, so this is one thing that we did, and here will be the smaller one according to the scheme. Okay, and they don't have to be too big or too small. Even if they are too big, it's fine. We're going to cover it. It's not as visible painting with the over the sparkles, but we'll cover them soon. It's just this one layer. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this zone, shaded zone, so the bottom zone in here, and I'm going to add this bottom zone in here. Okay, so this is my darker zone. This one will go to the light for 10 seconds. Okay, on this stage, if that will be me and my client, I wouldn't cover it with matte, but I can see the light is really playing, so I want to have the matte surface. So if you look how I'm applying the matte, okay, I'm literally scraping the product on. Okay, do not apply too much. It has to be super thin. Okay, on this one, we just want to create nice and smooth surface. Okay, without adding the extra thickness and extra volume. Okay, so be tight. Normally I'm saying don't be tight, make sure your top gel is nice and even, but in this case, be tight. Okay, so now it's much better, and now you will see a little bit more, and you can see our foil underneath just become a little bit more rusty, a little bit more vintage. I really like the look. So my next thing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create my first layer of the petals, okay? And I'm going to follow our scheme if it comes to shape. So what I want to do, I just want to create the shape of the flower, and then later I'll be adding the details, okay? For this one, I'm going to use the One Stroke brush number 2. This is a really tiny brush from the set of brushes. I really like this one. I think it's really helpful for painting. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of white, and I'm going to use a little bit of amber. I will mix it together. I can add a little bit of this red as well. So I'll have this pinkish, dirtish look. Okay, I'll just clean it. And I'm going to start of creating the shape. Now I will pick up a little bit of product, and here are my movements. So here, like that. Okay, nice and stroke. You can also use your brush by the tip like this, and you have the stroke. You can also use it like this. So you place in your brush, flat is spreading, and then you lift it up and create a bigger petal. So this brush really is nice and flexible and gives you a lot of possibilities of creating the petals. These petals will be quite big because we'll add the layers later. So we can start from the middle one, and we can place your brush like that and lift it up. Okay, and then we're following the circle. Okay, 1 and 2, and then the side ones. Perfect. So the bottom part is already done. It's nice and pink, not too bright. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And then we use our brush the sides, and I'm going to do the top. So my round part, the first part is already done. You can see I have the shape and I don't need to stress. And all of my petals going into direction of this one. Okay. And then what I can do from my, I'll just flip my tip over. And what I'm going to do, I will just place my brush like that and then lift it up to create my bottom part. If you don't see your darker part, this is absolutely fine. We're going to do the shading, okay? This is just to give you some kind of direction where you're going to place your flower, okay? So if you have this first shape, then everything is much, much easier. So you see, we have this our first shape, and it's done. And we're going to repeat the same on the other side. So this one is much smaller. So I need to change the position of my brush. So I'm just using the sides. And then the top. And then the sides. Okay, so the shape is done. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of my mixture here that I've used here before. And I'm going to add more, a little bit darker, a little bit random petals. Just here and there. Okay? Just like that. This design is quite, looks complicated, okay? But I think this design is the art of letting go, okay? With this design, this is what I've learned. You cannot really follow structure too much. We have the shape that we need to keep, but the rest is just the leaves. Just a little extra, just nice shadowing, and that's it. And this part goes to the light. I have my shape done. You see my first one is done. My second one is done. This one goes to the light for around 10-20 seconds, and then I'll add the extra shading. Okay, so let's go back to my tip. I will add the shading. For this one, I'm going to use my detailer number 3. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean my brush first, make sure it's nice and clean. I'm going to pick up a little bit of brown, tiny bit of black, okay, to make it darker, very darker. Okay, clean it, make sure there's not too much. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to place this dark mixture in my zone, okay? Remember my zone, my connection zone. So it's under this little round shape, okay? In this way, I'm going to add a little bit of shading, okay? Just a little bit darkness there. That will help me to add this 3D look. And you see, just the brush, my brush is clean, just the tip of my brush working towards my petals, okay? I'm not covering too much. I don't want them grayish or brownish too much. It's just a little bit, okay? I can also go under, just like that, okay? And I can do exactly the same in this part, so the bottom part of my middle part, so not completely, just a little bit. And I will do exactly the same in here. So first my zone, I'm applying the product here. And now I'm thinking I should show you this design without sparkles, so you will see everything a little bit better. But then at the end of the day, I think the sparkles really make a difference. So it's nice when you see it done properly, not just part-time. And okay, so this is my dark part. I'll quickly place it in the light, just quickly pre-cure it. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my clear mix with my orange first. And I will use my clear mix with my red. It's nice and pink. You see, it's really transparent. Okay, this is what we want to achieve. And then the brown mixed with the clear as well. So you know, when I do the shading, it's not too much. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to randomly apply a little bit of color into my petals. I'm mixing this up, so I'm not keeping this all the same. You see, I'm just following the white. Some of them are brown, some of them are pink. Also follow my previous one. And with this clear-ish amber, you can also add a little extra shading outside in here. Okay. So this is really random, I would say. Keep everything in the similar color combination for safety, okay? So you don't need to stress that you mix in orange with green, okay? You can do it as well if you have a little bit more experience with mixing color, but when you're starting up, just keep it, you know, keep it safe, I would say. And I'll just add a little bit of the orange in here. And you see, it started to get a little bit of shape, okay? A little bit of shading. Okay, mixing up, this is good. And I'll just add maybe a little bit more orange here outside my flowers, okay? Just a little bit of shading. And then I think with the sun-kissed color, it looks amazing. So because my glass is semi-transparent, super fast curing, this is going to the light just for 10 seconds, okay? 10 seconds is more than enough. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover this with super thin layer of my matte, okay? So this is my layer number 2 that is covered with matte. Okay, so my first layer was just the first shading, and I had to apply now with the layer number 2, and I have my shading. So this is how it looks glossy, but we need to cure it. It needs to be matte. Now for this one, I'm going to apply the second layer of my petals, okay? So now I'm going to follow the shape that I have, and this is what I'm going to create. So I'm going to use my detailer number 3 first, and then later I'll change into different detailer. And let me just pick up, I'm going to use the white, but maybe just let me pick up black, and you will see exactly what I'm going to do the shape-wise, okay? So I'm going to pick up tiny amount of color, and if you look at my detailer number 3, is nothing, okay? I can even put it like that, okay? And where I have my petals already made, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place the tip of my brush, place it, press it, make it like a S, and lift it up. Okay, this is our thing. Picking up, place it, press it, and just move around. So it's a little bit like a S, okay? This is the petals that I'm doing. And if you see, nothing on my brush, okay? What is different in my brush that normally I will use? My brush is not completely dry. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's just dampened with my extreme matte. So I'm not picking up any extreme matte. I just really remove the excess, but I'm trying my brush to be just moisturized, because when it's moisturized, it will really keep the shape. So when it's drying out, my brush will spread, and my brush will not hold the shape, if that makes sense. And you know from your brushes, this is really important. So just to make sure my brush is holding the shape all the time, I'm dipping this sometimes in my matte and to clear it. And by the way, your matte already has some kind of shade. You can also dip it here, okay? is absolutely fine. You don't need to make it clear white at this stage. You can even mix it if you want to. If let's do it then. We can mix it with a little bit of brown glass, for example. Okay, just a little bit, just to add a little bit of the shade. Or you can pick up a little bit of white as well and just add a little bit of amber. So we'll have two different shades, okay, of white. Now, I'm cleaning my brush. My brush needs to be clean. This is important. So there's nothing on it. During this flower painting, or just adding the details to this one, I'm going to clean my brush all the time. Because of course, every time I pick up the white, is not everything removed from my brush. So I may have the situation that my white is building up, or this mixture is building up, and then I'm having more colors than necessary. So what I'm doing, I'm moisturizing my brush, cleaning it, and then dipping it tiny. Okay, this is even too much. I'm just going to get rid of it. We just touch it, and I will start from the shape of my flower. So nice and slow. Okay, it's like a little S. And then don't be afraid. This takes time. Okay, this design is not design that you will do it within a second. Okay, but you can speed it up. Now I'm doing this super slow so you will see it. But once you know how and how much product you use, you can really use it a little bit more. So you see now I'm following my previous petals, okay, to create like a little S's. Okay, they don't need to be exactly perfect all the time, and then don't need to start and finish all in the same spot. Okay, so it's really important that they are more random, if I would say. They are more natural. Okay, just the tip of my brush, and I'm just adding here a little bit smaller pieces because they are on the top, and then the other side as well. So I'm keeping the middle part all clear. I will add a little bit, tiny bit of shading after this layer as well. So just the shape of our peony. I just love painting this flower. They used to stress me, really stress me, because I couldn't make it. I just couldn't see the end result. And then I've realized I just need to let it go. Okay, there's nothing perfect. And as long as I can see the shape, I am good. I am okay. And of course, I need to see some strokes and I need to see some painting. And at the end of the day, this design is an abstract flower, as I mentioned. Okay, so don't stress too much. Okay, if some petals are not perfect and are not perfect as the previous one, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. This is really, here is really an art. It's something that you just want to play. You just want to have fun with. You want to relax. You don't want to stress. You want to just really enjoy your work and enjoy being nail artist. Enjoy the moment for yourself, because that's really important as well. I have now in the salon, when I'm in the salon, you know, we have lots of, in the salon, different clients. We talk a lot of things. And my clients always bringing me some sad news. And they're different news. Some of the sad news are from their life. Some of the sad news are from the news because they just heard about something and I didn't. And then I'm really realizing that I am super happy and I'm really stress-free because I surround myself with beauty, with the glitter, with a lot of colors, with some art. And I often sit in the evening and then just do things that I really, really love instead of watching the news, instead of stress about things that are out of my control. So art is really a nice thing. Okay, so I'm flipping my, you see, I'm just doing all the time the same thing. Okay, some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. What I only do in here in this layer is really important. I'm following the shape of my flowers. Okay, so I'm following, making sure I have this main shape and it stays there. So I have this round shape in here, and then the bottom part connected to my zone. And now I need to clean my brush again because it was just too much of the product, absolutely loaded with the white. The white is super pigmented. It's something that can easily overtake. So you see our design is roughly taking a shape now. Our angel flowers. Oh, that's too much, far too much. Far too much. I'm looking at the camera, getting too excited, but this is it. It has to be tiny, tiny amount. If you see you have too much, just wipe it. Okay, if you have too much, you're not going to make this design looking nice. It should be just a tiny, tiny amount. So if you look at your detailer number 3 and you really, oh, I'm sorry, look at it, have just a tiny, tiny tip, one hair at the tip. This is what we're working on. But this is only really possible if you have your brush moisturized. Okay, so nice and sharp. Your brush needs to be new. If your brush is already damaged, you won't be able to do it because you won't have this one tiny line, a tiny hair at the top. And this is really what we're working with on our liner draw white now. Okay, it's just that you see all the time, and I'm really trying to be as close as possible on this one, so you will see it's nothing. I have literally nothing on my brush, and I think this is the whole secret of the micro painting. Okay, it's not even about the brush, because sometimes people are saying, oh, I need to have smaller brush, the tailor number 3 won't work for me, etc. But I think if you pick up, for example, paint straight from the jar, that will be difficult for you. That's why we all using the palettes. And doesn't matter if you have something like a plastic coaster or metal palette, or maybe something like this one, a paper palette is absolutely fine, whatever you wish. So, but it's how much product you use and how much product you apply into your brush, and of course taking advantage of your products, of your brushes. Make sure you have them all nice and sharp, nice and clean. Okay, I have this now too much, and then you can see my brush split it. You see it? Okay, because it's dry. It's dry. This is what I need to do. I'm going to dip it now into my mat, round it to make sure it's nice and sharp, and comes back into the shape. And now I can pick up again my paint, my gel, and then I can add more details into it. Okay, I also want to add more details into this part, so it'll be a little bit smaller. The leaf, the elements, petals will be a little bit bigger in here, just on the beginning. Then of course we add some lighter ones as well, the smaller ones. So it's just to separate. Perfect. Some of them together. This is better. And we also can use some of this here. Oh, this is nice. And now here we have this area as well that is not really connected. It's a little bit empty. So let's just add the few petals here and there, just to connect this together. Okay, so they won't be looking as if we have two separate flowers. We'll be looking as a one continuous shape. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I think I'm okay with this layer of the white. I don't want to add any more white petals at this stage. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cure it 10 seconds and then I'll add some details. Okay, so this is our second layer of the petals. Okay, so what I want to do now, this is my final time where I can add some kind of shading or the details. Okay, so for example in here I want to add a little bit more dark, just to make sure my middle part is a little bit more vivid, and I will just use a little bit of brown, a little bit of red. I had this mixture here before, and I'll just add tiny bit of black in here. You can also work with the color concentrates if you want to. I've actually started some designs with the color concentrate as well, that I mentioned it. I have them next door, was just doing some kind of mixture for the pigments as well to create my own. You see I have added a little bit of dark, but it's just flat in here, not too much. And if I want to add a little bit of darker here, again I'm repeating what I did before. So this is my zone, and then I can pull just gently product in. What you can also do, you can also add a little bit of dark and separate slightly these two flowers with the shading. So this is it. This is one, just a little bit in here. You see I'm again using tiny amount of product. It's nearly nothing. Okay, the product is nice and wet. This is the gel polish, the glass gel polish with the black. So it's easy to maneuver. It's easy to play. So I can add some shading here and there. So then that will make my flower stand out a little bit. See? This is it. So it won't be too white. I think this is what my experience as well on the very beginning. All of my flowers like this, they were just too white. So then I had to learn as well, just to make sure you check it one more time and add a little bit of shading, a little bit of extra. I need some shading here in the middle as well. This part. So that's much better. And here in the zone, in our base zone, I like this zone thing. So this is it. Hope my voice is not completely cracking your video and you can hear me. Actually, when I'm painting this, I'm not really well. I think I overworked a little bit. I just having like too many projects, and yeah, I need a little bit of rest. But anyway, my throat is sore, and as I said, I'm not really too well. So hope you won't complain about my voice. I will try. I'm trying my best to be as calm as possible. Okay, so you see I've separated these two. Let's quickly cure it, and then maybe if you want to, of course you don't have to, but please check it because this is your last chance. Okay, so you see we had these mixtures here. We can also add a little bit more. Let me just add a little bit more of the matte in here. So I will just use a bit more amber with matte. Okay, all of the shading, even if you want to make it darker, all of the shading comes with the clear. Okay, so we do not do this shading with the pure glass gel polish because that will be too much. That will really overtake. Okay, I can use some, this one has some yellow in here as well. Okay, just to make it brighter, a little bit of clear in here. And I think this a little bit of pink really makes a difference, isn't it? Makes it nice. So then if you want to add some color into your petals, a little bit more color, now is the time, because of course we're going to add more white and we're going to make it a little bit more stand out, but this is it. Okay, so if you want to, now is your time to make it more colorful. Blend colors together, just as you see. I've added orange here, then brown in here, and now just maybe add a little bit of pink on the bottom. Okay, so you see they're mixed up, they're not all the same. The clear. So this is what I was saying about the layering. You can see the design is really flat because I'm mixing everything with my clear. Is not too much of the volume, but still it is, you need to be careful. Okay, you need to be careful with your volume, so make sure this design is possible to wear, because that's tricky as well. This one goes to the light for 30 seconds, and I'll need to use matte top gel. Okay, all cured. My last layer of matte top gel. Okay, and this time I'm going to use just, I would say, normal layer, but again not too thick. Okay, I just want to make sure my design now at this stage is really protected. Okay, so I don't need to scrape as much, but this is if you finish with the shiny, it is also possible. Okay, but then you will have shiny and matte as a mixture later, so that's quite might be tricky, so that's why I prefer it in matte, but you can finish with the shiny, especially if your client wants it. It's not a problem at all. So here it is, my my matte. It's not 100% cured yet, but that's okay. I'm still going to go to the light for final cure. Now I've changed my brush, and now I'm going to use the Taylor number 2. And the Taylor number 2 is a brush from our set of the Taylors. We can buy separately the Taylor number 3, and we can buy separately the Taylor number 1, but number 2 is in a set. And why I'm choosing for this one number 2, not number 1, is the length of the hair. So number 2 is a little bit more chunky and shorter. Okay, so I have a little bit more volume when applying the gel, applying the liner gel. You can still use the Taylor number 3 for this one. That will all depend on the size, okay, of your flower and how confident you are with your product. So what I'm doing, I'm just using my mat. You see it's a little bit dirty, exactly the same as I did with my detailer number 3, and I'm going to use my mixture white with something, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add few more leaves or the petals. You see, really tiny. I'll just clean it. That was just a little bit too much of the product. So I like to start with the bigger petals. It's just because sometimes the first petal is a little bit, not perfect, okay, or maybe the product is just too much of the product. So I'm following some of the petals on the light side, okay, where I see that I have a little bit lighter, I'll just follow. Again, I'm just making this S shape. So you see, like in here, I have a darker and a lighter, and some of the darkness comes with the glass, some of the darkness comes from the background, okay? So take advantage of what you have in here now, because you already have some shade and you already have a lot of work done just by nature, just by mixing your product together with clear. Some of the part are lighter, some of them darker. So it's really nice to use it. And when you add your white, not cover your colors. You just enhance the white that is already there. And you see, I'm not working with the pure white now. I'm just still on this mixture with my amber and here with my brown, so it's not too white. Just add one over another is not a problem. So it's just tiny bit of product in here, and I'm just following the shape. The shape is already there. Okay, so I'm just adding extra details to my design. And it's exactly similar situation like on the previous layer. We just add in little extras, little tips. I'm not cutting this video. I'm going to show you as it is. Okay, the only cuts are for the curing because that will just take ages. So you see now I'm really enjoying to do this design, and I'm really looking around and just really having fun. So this is it. Gorgeous. I love these flowers. I hope you like them as well. So I'm just continuing to work, and I'm mixing with my orange mix, between my orange mix and the brown mix, and just adding things here and there. Just a little drops, a little dots. So I'm picking up a little bit more, and then I will add some of the extra lighter bits on my smaller one. Try to make them place in different directions, so they're just really looking a little bit more natural. Just come back to this one. I don't like this part. Okay. Now, just moving. So we're just playing a little bit with light and dark. Do not cover. Remember, see, I had too much. I'm just cleaning it. Do not cover everything you had in the previous layer. Okay, just to make sure the some of the layers are visible. This layer is just to add a little extra, like another layer of petals for our design. And if you think about the peony, when the peony rose is blooming, the petals are everywhere. Okay, so it's so many layers, and of course, for our salon work, it's impossible to do it all. Okay, so it's impossible to make a really, hundreds of layers of the petals. So we just need to play around, do what we can, just to have this look. Okay, and then just try our best to enjoy it. Okay, this part is done. Okay, so my petals are now, the flower, the main thing is done. Now I'm going to add a little extras here and there. I think it's already looking okay-ish. Just adding, you see, not completely covered my brush. Maybe like semi-transparent bits in here, so the tiny pieces of my petals in here, they're not completely fully covered. It's just to add a little extra, it's like a little touch. Okay, it's flying here. Let's do it on the other side as well. That'll be too much on my brush. In here as well. So you see, we just added, like filling up the space, making sure we've created so many layers and so many extra details. See, tiny little touches. So before we've created this little shading in here with just a mixture of our amber and brown and pink, and creating a shape was just, a little bit of shading. So now we can add a little extra. So this one goes to the light for 30 seconds. Okay, so my design is done, and this is my final check. Okay, I'm going to see if maybe I want to add some of the extra white here and there, but this time I'm going to use just pure white as I have, and maybe just want to have these petals smaller. Okay, so I just add another layer. This is really not necessary. Okay, this is just a little extra. Can just add something here. So everything is done in here. It's just you know, because I'm enjoying it, just adding tiny pieces here and there, but not too much. Okay, because now I'm working with pure white, so this pure white can really overtake. So you see, again, is nothing on my brush. I can even touch it, and my petals now are much smaller. So just add a little extra to this one, not too much. Okay, I think I'm not going to add any more. I think it's looking amazing. I really enjoy it. So the final cure for this one will be 2.5 minutes, just to make sure our white is staying. We're not finishing with the top gel or anything. Our white is already in this colors already mixed. So make sure it's fully cured and our design is done. Okay guys, so here it is. This is our design that I just did. And these are the previous one. You see the color combination in the abstract is all the same, but because you have different mixtures of the glass, some of them have the more brown, some of them more pink, and a little bit more black maybe. You can play around, and every time you really have completely design. It's really hard to repeat this design to make sure it's exactly the same, and this is what I think makes it really, really unique. All of these designs are super flat. It's just 2 coats of color. It's the same as here. Okay, you don't have any thickness. It's just to work in with super thin layer of the white, and we're doing the few layers of the matte top gel, and make sure your mat is really scraping. Okay, you're really tight with this one, and this is our design we just did as well, nice and flat. So I really enjoy it. Thank you for your attention, and looking forward to see your end result.